Right. Now we're continuing the speech of the Lubavitcher Rebbe that he gave in 1991, and then these two Torah portions were also joined together, and these are the last two portions. This is the finishing of the fourth book of the Torah, and the Rebbe is trying to imbue inside of us a totally positive look at the world, and to understand that the world as it is not exactly the way it's supposed to be, and that we have the power to change it, which is pretty much the topic all the time of Judaism and of Hasidut Chabad, especially, and that will be the idea of the Moshiach, namely to make the world reveal in the world what the world is supposed to be. The world is supposed to be like God put man in the world, and it was heaven on earth. Gan Eden was heaven on earth, and we're supposed to make it even better than that. God put it in man in the world to improve it. Okay. So can we see any signs in the world that we're headed in the right direction? It seems that if you listen to the news, which I do not advise anyone to do, that we are definitely not headed in any right direction. Exactly the opposite. We are headed for, okay, not the anyway, doom. The sky is falling, the temperature is rising, the waters are flowing, the polar bears are going to attack us. They're all leaving their homes, and okay. But the fact of the matter is let's forget about all that stuff. It's all 99% false, and the other 1% is a total lie. What is the truth? The truth is the Torah, and the truth is that we have to learn not to pay any attention to the negative things, or not to pay negative attention to the negative things, but to give them too much credence, right? Credence. But what we do have to do is give credence to the Torah and to the plan of creation and to the plan of the Torah, which is to make this world a perfect place. And this is hinted at, especially when these two Torah portions, matot or maseh, are joined together. And now, because matot means to be firm, and maseh means even when you're traveling through the world, you're making journeys, you can still be firm, and you can bring blessing and meaning into everything. And that's the number, that's what it means, the fourth book of the Torah. The fourth book of the Torah is, finalizing the synthesis of the two opposites of God and the world. Synthesizing them is number 3. That's number 3. That's making it firm. Number 3, the Torah was given in the 3rd month, but the number 4 is actually using the Torah in a normal way. And then number 5, that's going to be the idea of Moshiach. That's an elevation. It says number 5 goes to Paro. It's above all revelation. That's like a new level of genius and inspiration and courage and wisdom, which will be revealed in every single human being in the world. As Isaiah said, that the world will be filled with the awareness of God like water fills the ocean. Huh? Okay, that sounds pretty good. And while the Rebbe is saying it, it sounds even better. But the problem is that when the Rebbe, we stop the class, and the Rebbe, you don't see the Rebbe saying it anymore, is it going to be like Moses going up on Mount Sinai, and that everybody just forgot about him and they worshiped the golden calf? Hopefully not. That's the purpose of this. Okay, Ubafratios, even more detail. That's the idea of Aaron. Aaron is love. Love. Love is the essence. Love is the motto of reality, of change. Change. Love means that there's something hidden in every detail in the world, in every second in the world, in every place in the world, something precious, tremendously valuable and meaningful to each and every one of us, lovable, something lovable in every single detail in the world, especially in every human being, especially in every Jew. And that was stressed by a human being whose name was Aaron. Aaron, he joined together these two opposites of drawing down godliness. That's what we just finished learning in Likutei Torah. Drawing down godliness into the world and elevating the Jewish people. Like we said, that's matot. Matot is a staff from above to below, and maseh is journeying from below to above. Again, let's just say in a simple way, what is this from above to below? Ideally, it's supposed to be a person goes to university and he receives knowledge. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a scientist. So you go to university and you receive. That's from above to below. Then you get out of university and you use the knowledge you have to elevate the world, to make the world a better place. That's from below to above. The same thing God is doing with us constantly. He's constantly sending us inspiration and awareness, experience that we can learn from. And we're supposed to use that in order that's from above to below. And then we should supposed to use that to go from below to above to elevate the world, make the world more meaningful, but according to the Torah. Mitzad dargat nailit, of a higher level of reality, a higher level of harmony, so that you don't see the divisions of everything. Everything becomes unified into one unit. The main thing is Aaron HaKohen. That's Aaron HaKohen is giving blessings. The Kohen, the blessings of the Kohanim. Mitzvah taseh, like it says, it is a positive commandment from the Torah that the Kohanim, we use the word priests, but the word has become corrupted by the church. But what can we do? Or the other religions, the Kohanim, they're the priests. Okay, the priests have to give a blessing called a priestly blessing. They bless the Jews every day. It's a 15-word blessing that's said, right? The Kohanim go in front of the crowd and they turn around, they put a talit over and they hold their hands like this and they say, "May God bless you and may He protect you. May He shine His face on you," etc. 15 words. It's a blessing. And the Kohanim would give a blessing. And this also exists right now, even not only in Israel, but also outside of Israel. And not only right every day outside of Israel, they don't do it every day because the Kohanim, it says, are supposed to only give blessing when they feel unhampered by the world. And outside of Israel, the world weighs on them, doesn't allow them to be truly happy. So that outside of Israel, the blessings are the Kohanim. They bless the congregation when they're praying. In the middle of the prayers, they get up and there's a special place. They stand in front of everybody and they bless them. Outside of Israel, it's only on the holidays, but in Israel, Eretz Israel, it can be even every day. The call to feel in every prayer and all the prayers of the day. Right? Some places in Chabad, there's also places where they do every day. If a Kohen wants to give up, there's some places, especially by the Sephardic Jews, that they make a special thing that every day they bless. Wonderful thing. The Yaduan, it is known, Shebabirchat Kohanim, that the blessings of the Kohanim and the blessings of the Kohanim, there are two, excellent qualities of blessing and prayer together. What's a blessing and what's a prayer? What's the difference between a blessing and a prayer? A blessing is things that are waiting for you in heaven that might have been delayed because of whatever spiritual mechanisms there are going up in the heaven world. But you're supposed to get a big blessing, but you don't get it because of some reason. So the Kohanim, they speed the blessing to come down. It's waiting for you. The blessing is waiting. That's blessing. Prayer is when there is no blessing waiting for you in heaven. It was decreed that you are supposed to be poor, you're supposed to be whatever, and all the bad things in the world are decreed. Prayer negates bad things and brings blessings that were not waiting for you. That's prayer. That's prayer. If so, what do we have to have the blessing of the Kohanim for? The blessing of the Kohanim has a special blessing that what they bring down is certain. And prayers are not certain. It could be that you will pray for something, God will answer your prayers, but the prayers won't come down. Like I said before, because of the mechanisms of the celestial realms of whatever is going on over there. But for every reason it is, the blessings don't come down. So the Kohanim, they just open up the doors for what is there, but it's certain. And prayer, that creates a new thing, but it's not certain that it's going to come to you. And the blessing of the Kohanim contains both of them. Also a blessing that the whole thing is drawing down from above to below. What's there will reach you. And the blessing of prayer is elevating from below to above, making something new. The yotam medrega shalamayla mitchalkut, drawing from which is above, drawing from a level which is above any divisions of time and place or whatever. Okay, and therefore you can join both of them together. Yesh Lomar, we can say that's what the blessing of the Kohanim is. We see like outstanding examples of this by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. There were people that came into the Rebbe and they had X-rays about that they had a tumor somewhere or there's something, and the Rebbe would say, maybe get another checkup, right? They would go and all of a sudden it would be gone. The tumor would be gone. There's countless stories like that by the Rebbe, right? How could he do such a thing? I don't know. I mean, I can't do it, that's for sure. But the Rebbe combined two things: blessing, which means thing came down for sure, and prayer. It was a thing that wasn't designed for that person, and the Rebbe could change it by prayer and by. In any case, that's the blessing of Aaron. That's the Aaron aspect of the Rebbe. Al Pizeh, according to this, we can also say that the remez, that the hint, which is in the number of Aaron, the number of years. How old was Aaron when he passed away? 123 years old. Shlosh ve'esrim u'me'ah shana. It was 320 years old when he passed away, and he was buried or whatever, interned in Har Hor Hahar. That was the name of the mountain where he was. Shenosaf al Shlemot Me'ah. In addition to the fact that Aaron had reached the completion of 120 years, that's what God said to Noah. People live 120 years. Kishenot, that's the years of the life of Moses. Moses was 120 years old. Like it says, although Moses was born and he passed away on the same date. On the same date. Like it says, like it says by Noah, that man, if he reaches perfection, will have 120 years to live. It says, V'chai od, but Aaron lived 3 years in addition to that. 321. Right? 321. 123 years. Sheba mispar shloshanim, in the number 3 years, which is more than 120. This is hinted at the whole entire service of joining two opposites together and joining them together, making a synthesis. How did I say? Somebody told me there's thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. There is godliness, then there's the world, which seems to oppose God. And then there's the Torah, which unites them both. This is joining the three together, which is above them. That's why the Torah was given in the third month. And Aaron had the number 3 in addition to the complete, every day of his life was meaningful, all 120 years. In addition to that, he had 3 more years to show what he did in his life, that he joined all opposites. And this is, of course, even today, but the big tzaddikim there are, especially by the Rebbe, but there's others. Al Pizeh, according to this, we can also explain the connection of the service of Aaron to the day that he passed away. It's the only date of passing away in the whole Torah. In the whole Torah, it's filled with people that passed away. Big tzaddikim, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all passed away. And all of them, it says, some of them says the month that they passed away, but none of them say the exact date. By Aaron, it says the exact date that Aaron passed away. The Chodesh HaChamishi, in the 5th month, that's the month of Av. Next, in the first day of the month, on the 5th day, now we're getting to 5. We're also coming into reading the 5th book of the Torah. Remember, number 5. That's how I explained in the beginning of the class. Number 5, this, again, the Rebbe is saying all this to let us know that it's all here. All this good is here. All this harmony and beauty and blessing, it's all here. It's all present. We just have to reveal it. That's the 5th month. Kashur v'shayach, this is relevant to the 5th level, which is above any division, shebeseder ishtalshlos, of the whole entire creation, spiritual and physical. Like it says by Joseph, it says that the number 5 says 1/5 will go to Paro. Joseph gathered all the money of the whole world together, and he said 1/5 goes to Paro. Okay, Paro was a bad guy. I mean, when Joseph was there, he was a good guy. But Paro is the king of Egypt. But the word paro also means priya. It means to be revealed. At parian, there is revealed that galin, language of the Zohar. There is revealed, and there is, how do you say, given to us from this level, all of the upper lights of godliness. That's priya. And it says the number 5 represents this level of priya. Chamishit laparo. Number 5 is indicating a level of godliness which God wants to reveal here. This is God's essence, pleasure in this world. That's like the Holy of Holies. It's even higher. Begam also, Echad B'chodesh, this is also, Aaron was also, he passed away on the first day of the month. The fifth month of the year itself is attached to the number of 1. The number of 1, which is above any division. Like we say there's a prayer which is called Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Molach. We say, Hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni. God is number 1 and there's no number 2. God is a number 1 that includes all opposites. There's nothing outside of God. God creates the whole business. And he creates it from nothing. So the world is not separate from God. It's nothing. It's all a big miracle. The world, that's the number 1 of godliness. And that indicated that Aaron was born on the first day of the month, number 1, indicates this aspect of God which is above all division, includes all divisions, unifies kamudgash like it is, and that's the whole idea of the first day of the month. Yom Echad, 1 day that's above all divisions. The Jewish people, they count according to the moon, and when the moon is just revealed, that shows that the darkness is being illuminated, that it can be illuminated, and that there's much more to come. That one little spot, it contains all of the illumination afterwards. That's the number 1. That's the first day of the month. That's number 1. That's what Aaron revealed in the world in a godly way. Not only spiritual. In Yeshlom, we can say that the Torah writes specifically that the passing away of Aaron, namely the day that he completed his work in the world, it was in the 5th month on the first day. This hints at the main point of Aaron's life, all of his deeds and all of the Torah and all of this efforts that he made in his life, that he did his whole life, that he reached this level of 1, which is above any division. Shema'ached, that this unifies at kol chilukei dargos, all of the different levels, all the different days of his life, the hours of his life, the minutes of his life, the seconds of life, they're all unified in one big, beautiful blessing. Because if you think about it, if you think about it 1 second, this sort of makes sense, because everyone who's watching or listening to these classes, obviously you're alive. And obviously you understand English or something, so you had a past, right? You had a past. So where is this past that you had? Where is it? Where is it? Can you put your finger on it? Maybe you can put your finger on certain things that you accomplished in your past, but you have a family, you have a wife, and you have this, right? But if you look at it closely, you will see that the fact that you have a house and a wife and a children, all these things are being created every instant by God, brand new. You cannot take this for granted. You cannot take it for granted that you have children, you have a family, and you have a house, and that you have those things because God wants you to, and he does want you to have it. When does he want you to have it? Now. So really, what we really have is now. You don't have the past. Past is gone. You don't have the future. All you have is right now. Right? If, God forbid, you lose all of your money and someone says, well, but you had it in the past. What are you complaining about? I had it in the past. The past isn't here anymore. Well, I want it right now. So that's what we have is right now. So really this right now, this 1 second right now, which you can't put your finger on what is right now, because it's always now is always sort of, right? It's always moving into the past. So you have this now is a big miracle, and it unites everything. It unites everything. If there's no now, then there's no future. Then there's no past, right? The whole thing, the fact of the matter is that's what happens when a person passes away. So all the good deeds that person did, you realize that it never really went into the past. It was always right now. And in fact, that's God's name. God's name is Yud. Hoveh means to be. Now, there's Hoya, Yihya, and Hoveh. Yud means constant. So God is constantly right now. When you do what God wants right now, that becomes permanent, eternal, physical world. When you go to heaven, you get a little sort of a glimpse of it, a glimpse of what's going on. But heaven is mostly living in the past. Heaven is living in what you did. You can't, there's no real present and there's no real future. You're living in the good deeds that you did in the past. If you did good deeds, hopefully. Future and present only really sort of begin when a person comes into this physical world. Then you can do what God wants. You can do physical things that are good. And that's Aaron. Aaron united everything, past, present, and future, everything together in one. That's Aaron, Aleph, the Aleph of Aaron. That's why he passed away on the first day of the month of the fifth month. Hein benogea, this is relevant to joining together everything and all of the blessings of the Kohanim and everything he did. Hein, whether regarding to the unification of all of the different types of the Jewish people, it says that Aaron showed love and the preciousness of every single Jew, and he surrounded them all with the clouds of glory, we said. All the Jews were surrounded equally. The sinners, the righteous people, the people that agreed with Moses, that hated Moses, they were all encompassed by these clouds. Ba'avodato, that's what Aaron did. Aaron had the special service of loving peace and pursuing peace. Victory is a wonderful thing. Victory is a wonderful thing, but peace is a better thing, but it has to be true. It has to be true peace. It can't be that you want peace, so you let people do sins, let people do what they want to. The main thing is we should have peace. That's not called peace. In a way, that's called death. Death is also a type of peace, resting in peace. Nobody wants that. Life is supposed to be dynamic. But peace means that you see the good in everything, and you try to bring it out. And if you don't succeed in bringing it out, at least you try. At least there's one person in the world that's trying to bring peace. She calls it, and there's no good except for Torah. She calls it, all this is made by means of a level of godliness, of reality, which is incomparable to any of the details of creation. That's the number 5. This is far from the number 3, which makes the synthesis, even above the word number 4. You'll see if we can hope. We can also add on, that the 5th month of the year we're going to come, I think next week it's Tuesday night, I think, that the 5th month of the year and the first day of the month, that's when Aaron passed away. This includes, the first day of the month includes all the days of the month. Like we said, the moon is starting to be revealed. This is a preparation for the whole service of the month of Elul. The month of Elul is the month of preparation for Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the day of the coronation of the King of all existence, God. We make God our King. That's Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the day commemorating the day that man was created, first man. That was Adam's birthday. Adam was born on Rosh Hashanah, 6th day of creation. Who was Adam's father? God. Who was Adam's mother? I don't know. It says the mother. I guess the Shekhinah, who knows what. Anyway, Adam, that was his birthday. It wasn't much of a celebration. They didn't have any time to buy anything. There was no one to prepare for that. So Adam was born on Rosh Hashanah. The party really, really went sour. One of the most unsuccessful birthday parties in the history of the world. Adam was created, and a couple of hours later, he ate from the tree, and which caused his eviction from Gan Eden. Okay, but let's not talk about that. The preparations so that we should not make the same mistake as Adam did, and that we should have a happy birthday. Rosh Hashanah, that's Adam's birthday. That's a birthday, is the month of Elul. The month of Elul is Ani Ladodi Vadodi Li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is me. It's a sentence in Song of Songs. I am to my beloved is God. And my beloved, and then God reacts to me. Ha'ala, elevating from below to above. Ani Ladodi, elevating ourselves and afterwards hamshacha, drawing down from above to below. God reacts. So how does this business go? First of all, you learn Chassidut. That's Moses giving to us inspiration. But then after we get the inspiration, that's when the whole process begins. Ani ladodi, then I want to go up to my creator. I want to go out of my own natural, how do you say, tendencies and start Jewish tendencies to be connected to the creator of the universe. Ani, I go to my dodi, my beloved. And God is beloved. Very important. God is very intimate. He is very warm and personal and, how do you say, lovable. And God loves us, Vadodi Li. And God loves us. But he's waiting for us to show our love to him first, and then he shows his love to us. That's even more inspiration, going from below to above, and then with a second inspiration coming from above to below. Dodi Li. So Mitchila, that begins with the first letters of Elul, Aleph, Lamed, Ani, Ladodi. The Nimshach and is drawn down this inspiration. This whole inspiration, and this is drawn down into the month of Tishrei. Tishrei, that is Dodi Li. That's when God really comes down to us. He answers our prayers in Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and etc. Mitzad, because of this inner point of oneness, which is above all division. That's the 5th month and the first day of the month. Sha'al Yada, that by means of this, that's what Aaron did, unity. Unity, not unity in the face of diversity, a higher level of unity even after there is no diversity. The synthesis of all diversity, that's the number 3. Cementing that is the number 4. And bringing a whole new level of unity, which is totally above any divisions, that's the number 5. That's the number 5. Sha'al Yada, that by means of it, we can join all opposites together. Or even more, that there's 2 levels of love from below to above, Ani Ladodi, and from above to below. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. My beloved, this indicates on love. Dodi means love. But they both come after, first of all, having a tremendous love which comes from above. In other words, this whole business of us loving God and God reacting to us and bringing blessings down, and we doing commandments and we're making blessings and all this, the whole thing is started by Aaron. Aaron. That's Aaron. He provides this love to even totally non-deserving, not requesting Jews that want to have absolutely nothing to do with blessings and good and love and all this stuff. Nothing to do with that. They hate it all. Aaron brought love to them. He woke even them up. Sheyom Istalkos, that the day of the passing away of Aaron is the 5th day of the month and the first day, and the 5th month and the first day of the month. There's a story that I just heard recently. It was going around that, in Chabad, boys put on tefillin. They go in the streets and they put on tefillin on people. Young fellows, sometimes 13 years old, 14 years old. And they ask, mature, successful, cultured Israelis in the whole world. They ask, in Israeli especially. Now in Israel, there's a lot of Jews that are really, really opposed to Judaism. Super anti-Judaism. Anything that has even the slightest trace of Judaism, they're against. Shabbat, kosher. It's a lot less now. It used to be the founding fathers were like that of the Zionists and of this. It's a lot less now, but it still exists. In any case, so these boys stand in the street and they ask people to put on tefillin. So, like I say, it used to be, you used to get a lot of it was very common to get these very caustic reactions from people, right? Get out of here, go to hell, all these terrible things. Anyway, it's a lot less now, but still people are really put off by it. So these young boys, they asked some fellow, will he put on tefillin? I just heard the story the other day. Would you like to put on tefillin? And the man started cursing them out. Go to the army, go to hell, go to this, get out of here, leave me alone. You people are destroying the whole country. So the boys had the sense not to answer him back. They didn't answer him back. And he went, and one of them said, no matter what, you're a Jew and we love you. That's what he said. So this person turned around and he heard this slogan. They probably taught you to say that. You probably went to a course and they taught you that's what you should reply. Somebody says this, you say that, like judo or boxing or something. If he does this, he lets his guard down. So he looked at him, he said, are you serious? And the boy said, yeah. And he came closer and he said, are you really serious what you said? Ata Ritzini, are you really serious what you're saying? And the boy said, yeah, I am. So he looked at him and he said, listen, I think you really are serious about that. He said, you know what? I'll put on tefillin. And he put on tefillin. Now, putting on tefillin is not doing a religious act. He's not doing it because of a religious act. He's not doing it to make these boys happy. He's doing it because he realizes it's a really a good thing. And maybe these guys are right. Maybe God, the creator of the universe, he originated this idea of tefillin. It wasn't Moses or the rabbis or somebody. Lubavitcher Rebbe or somebody invented this idea just to keep the boys occupied and keep people religious and on their toes. Maybe somehow or other this really is a good thing to do, to put on, a Jew should put on tefillin because he's Jewish. Doesn't make any sense. And he said, okay, he noticed something in these boys that was genuine. They didn't want anything in return. They were expressing their true value of a Jew. That's what Chassidut teaches us. To look at the world from Moses' point of view. Moshe's point of view. God's point of view is the Jews worship the golden calf, I'll wipe them all out. Moshe's point of view is no way. No matter how bad, rebellious, destructive a Jew can be, he's a Jew. You got to look at him positively. Will he react positively? That's not your job. That's Aaron. That's Aaron. Tremendous love coming without any conditions. Unconditional love to every Jew, because that's what God is. Unconditional love for every Jew. Okay. Mia Horos, one of the teachings that we can learn from this, I think we're going to have to do this tomorrow, but let's do it. We'll do this. Here we go. Mia Horos, from one of the teachings we can learn from this, we said before, okay, here we go. Ready? Mia Horos, one of the teachings that we can learn from this, from all that we said before, and bring in into actual deed. Now we are in Shabbat Chazak. Shabbat Chazak, that's the Shabbat when we finish a book of the Torah. We're finishing the book of Numbers this Shabbat. That's called Shabbat Chazak. They finish the Torah reading, and everyone, when the one who reads from the podium, he reads the Torah, the last sentence, everyone in the congregation says, Chazak, Chazak, Vanit Chazek. Be strong, and we will be strengthened. We are now finishing the fourth book of the Torah, that in it begins, and we're also going to begin at Mincha Shabbat, the fifth book of the Torah. And especially when the fifth month, that's fifth month, that in it shows the power of the holy temple, which is going to be built in the third redemption, which is not just a third redemption, but it is also contains it at the fourth redemption. The Rebbe brought this up before, that there's some people consider that the Jewish people were not only in three exiles, namely Egypt and Babylon and now, but some people also include Greece, and some people also throw in somehow or other Persia, right? Persia. Now we're in the redemption. Now we're in the fifth exile. This is until the Geula. Now we're going to have the fifth redemption, Liot Lamaila, to be totally above any divisions of the first temple and the second temple, the first redemption, the second redemption, that afterwards we had to have a third one. We're waiting for the third redemption, a big miracle. That's why, by the way, the first of the 10 commandments. First of the 10 commandments is, I am God that took you out of Egypt. That's the first of the 10 commandments, which doesn't seem to be a commandment at all. It's just a statement. But no, the fact of the matter is it's a commandment. It's a commandment that you have to believe in the existence of God. That's the commandment. Why does it throw in there, I'm God that took you out of Egypt? Because that's part of the nature, the novelty of the God of Jews, the God of Israel, that God cares. God chose the Jewish people. God took them out of Egypt, and he still has that nature to this day. He's going to take us out of our troubles now as well. That's part of God's nature, to take us out of troubles. Nowadays, our troubles are 90% self-made. We just don't realize what God is. That other percent is, terrible, Hamas and stuff. But nevertheless, we change our way of looking at the world. That'll change the world. So therefore, we have to make a special effort on the unity, on the idea of unity above any division. That's what caused the destruction of the first and second temple, is division. So we have to concentrate on unity. This is especially done by means of going in the ways of Aaron. Take an example of Aaron, that the day that Aaron passed away is the first day of the month of Av, which is going to be this coming Wednesday. And like the commandment, what it says in Masechet Avot, the Pirkei Avot, you should be Havi Talmidim, you should be one of the pupils of Aaron, love peace, pursue peace, love even the lowest people, just the creations, the lowest Jews, and try to bring them to the Torah. Don't lower the Torah to them, dilute the Torah, but you have to try to bring them up to the Torah. Give them a little bit of Torah, a little bit. How to say, feed them with an eyedropper Torah, but let them know that there's more. Bring them closer and closer to the Torah. Al Yidei Zeh, by means of this, that we reveal the one point of unity, which is above any division, or in more detail, but Pratiyot Yoter, in more detail, is Al Pi Diuk, what it says in the Mishnah, you should be the pupils of Aaron. It says, Have, be. This means it's a commandment. She'en ze sipur. It's not just a story. Try to be something, try to be a pupil, maybe try to learn, right? Here's a wonderful, no, it's a commandment. You must be like the pupils of Aaron. It's not just a story, a Hasidic story, what you have to do, like many things that are in Pirkei Avot, good advice. But this is a commandment, and it is a demand that every Jew has to be pupils of Aaron, number one. Number two, you have to be one of the pupils of Aaron. A pupil means pupils, plural. Not just don't be a pupil of Aaron. You have to be one of the learners from Aaron. That your effort should be that not just that you should follow what Aaron says, it should be you should try to get others to do so as well. By means of this, it adds on even more. Kina sofrim tar b'chachma. First, people see you do. Jealousy can be a very good thing. Jealousy means that you want to improve yourself. There's three types of jealousy. Two of them are bad. Jealousy that you hate the other person because he's jealous, or you hate the quality that this person has because he's got a good quality you don't. So you hate the whole quality. But there's a good type of jealousy that you also want to improve yourself to be like that other person. If he can be that good, it shows that it's possible to do. I want to do it also. Kina sofrim tar b'chachma. It says jealousy of the rabbis, this increases wisdom. Tarba, it increases. That you have a true increase is without limit. Without limit. We have to remember we're serving God here. God is unlimited good. Not just to serve God with all of your being, even though that regarding somebody else, Harizeh b'medida v'hagbala is higher than other people. You learn from others to how to compare yourself to God. I want to be infinitely good. I can never be satisfied with good. Like they once asked the Lubavitcher Rebbe, are you happy? They came in BBC. They brought the cameras and everything. The Rebbe used to give out dollars on Sunday. So they brought the whole thing. the cameraman and this and with the microphone on a boom, and they said, "Tell me, Lubavitcher Rebbe, are you happy?" The Rebbe said, "I am happy, but I am not satisfied. I'm happy with what I've got. I'm happy with every second. I'm happy that I'm a Jew. I'm happy I'm alive, but I'm not satisfied. You have to do more constantly. And without any limit. The Yesh Losif, we can also add on that this is the attachment of loving every Jew is attached to the future redemption, not because it negates the bad things, and that's the bad things that we're in exile. It negates them. That by means of this is the opposite of hating another Jew. We're already after all of our deeds. We've already had 2,000 years of exile. After we finished, we're already at the end of the 42 journeys in the desert. We've already gone through the desert. We've suffered enough, the Jewish people. We are now at the edge of going into the land of Israel. Yarden Yerecho, it's the last journey. That's the level of the Moshiach. Yerecho means to smell. This is the Moshiach will judge everybody with the smell. We're on right with his nose. We're now right at the edge of the total redemption. Any second now, it's going to open up a flood of good and blessing and love will inundate, will, what's a better word for it? Will, a better word for, okay, think of the word, irrigate the whole entire world. Man, that's not such a good word. The whole entire world, Bavadai certainly, Shekavar, Nitkane, Sibut, the bad things have already been fixed up. Why should we increase in loving every Jew now? The main effort in loving every Jew now is not just to do away with the bad, but to have a taste and the beginning of the future redemption. The future redemption will see and feel what a Jew really is. That's the true completion of the, which is attached to the inner point of unity of all the Jewish people, which is above division. This is stressed at the unity of the Jewish people. That's what it means. The Jewish people are the sons of God. What does that mean, the son of God? What does it mean? God has got a son. What's talking about? It says, because in the Tanya, the second chapter of the Tanya explains that God makes man in his image. So there means God has an image and God has pleasure. And the inner pleasure of God is the Jewish souls. That's the essence of the soul. And that's true unity. All of the Jewish people have this ability to give God pleasure. This is because that's the level of yechida of the soul. It's in every Jew equally that this is the spark of the soul of the Moshiach inside of every Jew. And according to this, so now we can add on, it says, Umakarev, the Torah, that Aaron says, love every Jew and bring them closer to the Torah. The intention over here is that you have to bring every Jew close to learning Torah of the future redemption. Because in the future redemption, it says that all the Jews will know the whole Torah. Torah Chadashim, they'd say the Torah will be fresh like it was at Mount Sinai. It will be fresh, but it'll be not like Mount Sinai, what was external. It'll be internal inside of every single Jew. That's why we should love every Jew, because every Jew has the point of Mashiach within. And that is the most precious, lovable, and you say the valuable thing that could possibly be in the world, and it's all ours. It's ours. It's not a check written to somebody else. We're Jews. To realize that inside of ourselves and to other Jews, that's already a taste of the future redemption, as we will continue, God willing, tomorrow. One minute to go. Uh-oh. One second. One second. Did I not record that? Could it be? Could it? 1 second. No, I know I recorded. 1 second. 1 minute. What's going on over here? What's going on over here? What happened? What happened? What's happening? It's not responding the way I want it to. What's this thing doing over here? There we go. Oh, good. I was recording. Good. Okay, good.